What's up, everyone? My name is Rad, and I'm here today bringing you my guide on Joachim Inokia Verthanen, better known as Welt Yang, also my personal favorite character in Honkai Star Rail. I'll be going over his traces, talent, technique, Eidolons, recommended icons, relics, and team compositions. I'm going to make all of my character guides as concise but detailed as possible. He will be level 50 and Ascension 3 for this guide. Timestamps will be listed down below in the description. Without further ado, let's drop that transition. Commencing with traces, gravity suppression. This is Welt's normal attack. It deals imaginary damage equal to X amount of his attack to a singular enemy. Edge of the Void. This is his skill, which is a bounce attack. He'll dish out imaginary damage equal to X amount of his attack to a single enemy, but also another 2 extra times to any random enemy equal to X amount of his attack as well. On hit, there is a X value base chance to reduce the enemy's speed by 10% for up to 2 turns. This skill is awesome, deals a really solid damage, also breaks shields or toughness meter pretty easily, and potentially debuffs the enemy with a speed reduction. Synthetic Black Hole dishes out imaginary damage equal to X amount of Welt's attack to all enemies, with a 100% base chance to imprison the enemies for 1 turn. Imprisoned enemies have their actions delayed by X amount and speed reduced by 10%. His ultimate is one of the best in the game in my opinion. It deals a lot of damage, imprisons all enemies, which makes it so that their actions are postponed on top of the 10% speed reduction, which adds to it. Also, this stacks with the slow on his skill as well. Plus, for me at least, it's the coolest looking animated ultimate in the game.
넌 이 힘의 무게에 대해 아무것도 몰라. 별의 부서짐을 보아라. 사느냐 죽느냐 너에게 선택권은 없어.
Time Distortion. This is his talent. When hitting an enemy that already has slow inflicted on them, Welt deals additional imaginary damage equal to X amount of his attack. This combined with his skill, and you'll see health bars just start to chunk. Because with his talent, it applies to every instance of every hit of his skill. So each hit gains this additional damage. Gravitational Imprisonment. This is his technique. After using his technique, it'll create a dimension that lasts for 15 seconds. Enemies within this dimension have their movement speed reduced by 50%. Upon entering battle, there's a 100% base chance to imprison the enemies for 1 turn. The enemies that have been imprisoned have their actions delayed by 20%. You can only have 1 dimension up at a time created by an ally. Amazing technique. Before even entering battle, you are already applying some strong debuffs to the enemies, which from the start maximizes his damage for his whole kit.
여기 남거라.
불청객이잖아.
Abilities. Retribution Ascension 2 unlock. Upon casting Welt's ultimate, there is a 100% base chance enemies take 12% extra damage for 2 turns. This applies to all sources, so it includes all current units in your current team. Insane ability only for a Ascension 2 unlock. Judgment Ascension 4 unlock. Using his ultimate replenish an additional 10 energy. Really nice as you'll get his ultimate up much faster. Punishment Ascension 6 unlock. Dishes out 20% more damage to those inflicted with weakness break. While reading this, you might think, well, Rad, it seems okay, but the boost is only after you deplete the toughness meter. And while yes, you are correct, you have to remember, Welt excels as a slow debuffer specialist, so with his consistent slowing and making them take longer to perform their actions, in those time windows, you'll get faster turns to deplete their shields or toughness meter. Plus, it also applies to the current party units in your team as well, which is huge because it's another source of extra damage you can do. Eidolons. Welt's Eidolons are a mix of damage boost, but also enhancements. I'll be skipping his E3 and E5 as they only add levels to his skills. E1, Legacy of Honor. After using his ultimate, his abilities are enhanced. The following 2 times he uses his basic attack or skill, it will dish out either additional damage to the enemy equal to 50% of his basic attack damage multiplier or 80% of his skills damage multiplier, respectively. This is insane because when you take in consideration everything he already does or provides, this just ramps up his damage to an even crazier extent. If going for Eidolons, this is where I recommend to stop at. E2, Conflux of Stars. Upon activating his talent, he will regenerate 3 energy. This one is awesome because you'll always be triggering his talent every turn, so it's an easy 3 energy every turn. E4, Appellation of Justice. Boosts the base chance for his skill by 35% to apply speed reduction. Even at level 1, for this skill, the base chance is a flat 65%. With the 35% boost, it amounts to 22.7, so let's just round up to 23%. An extra 23%, and you're at a whopping 88%. I'm just in awe of this Eidolon. Lastly, E6, Prospect of Glory. This just makes it so that his skill deals damage 1 additional time to a random enemy. Light Cones. Welt Yang is of the Anility path. There is only currently 1 5-star light cone available, which just so happens to be his signature light cone. In the name of the world, this will increase his damage to debuffed enemies. Upon using his skill, his effect rate for that attack increases by X amount, and it'll also increase his attack as well. Enemies will also be debuffed by him, so he does even more damage. Effect hit rate is how likely it is for a unit to apply a debuff on an enemy, so this increases his imprisonment debuff plus an attack boost. The more I talk about him, the more I'm just like, what can't he do? For 4 stars, I recommend Resolution Shines as Pearls of Sweat. What a very odd name. This makes it so that upon hitting an enemy, if they aren't already ensnared, which is a defense reduction debuff, it increases his chance to apply ensnare and it'll reduce the enemy's defense by X amount. This one is great. It applies to all of his attacks. You lower their defenses, and on top of that, all the slow he provides. It gets kind of crazy. Eyes of the Prey. This will increase his effect hit rate and also his damage over time. Damage, I don't know if I worded that correctly or not. Great as well, especially for the effect hit rate it provides. For 3 stars. Void. Boost his effect hit rate for 3 turns. At Superimposition 5, it's a whopping 40%. Loop. Will boost his damage against slowed enemies. At Superimposition 5, it's a bonkers 48%. You can't go wrong with either. Also, please do not sleep on 3-star weapons. They are seriously underrated. Relics. Currently the best one for him is a 4-piece set. Wastelander of Banishee Desert. I'm still working on a 4-piece set myself, but it boosts his imaginary damage by 10%, and when attacking debuffed enemies, his crit rate will boost by 10%, but also his crit damage increases by 20% against imprisoned enemies. Really powerful relic set. Work on getting a 4-piece for him as soon as you hit Trailblaze level 40. If you don't have that, then the second best, in my opinion, is a Thief of Shooting Meteor. It just provides a whole bunch of weakness, break damage, and some minor energy replenishment. 4 primary stats to look for on the body: effect hit rate, crit rate or crit damage. For the feet, attack percentage or speed. You can choose whichever. I only recommend attack percentage first because he already applies so much slow with his kit. For substats, you'll be looking for speed, effect hit rate, break effect, attack percentage, crit rate or crit damage. Now, for planet ornaments, I don't have these on my NA account because I play this a bit less than my main Asia account. You can take my word for it that these are the best ones I recommend for him. Pan Galactic Commercial Enterprise. It'll increase his effect hit rate by 10%, but also he'll gain an attack boost equal to 25% of his effect hit rate, up to a max of 25% overall. It just ups his stats across the board. Really good on him. Sprightly Vonvak increases his energy regeneration rate by 5%. Also, if his speed gets to 145 or higher, his actions are advanced forward by 50% immediately upon entering battle. Talia, Kingdom of Banditry, increases his break effect by 20% plus another 28% if his speed gets to 145 or higher. He does deplete toughness meter incredibly well, so this is super solid on him. Primary stats to look for on the Planner Sphere: imaginary damage, on the Link Rope, energy regeneration rate, break effect, or attack percentage. Substats to look for on the Planner Sphere: break effect, on the Link Rope, crit rate, or crit damage. Team compositions: literally can slot him in any team and he will excel always. He's a universal unit due to how versatile he is. His flexibility, in my opinion, is unrivaled and unmatched. You can have him as a DPS, amplifier, crowd controller, etc. Welt Yang, in my opinion, is the current best 5-star in the game. Even though he doesn't do the most peak overall damage, everything he brings to the table is just tremendous. His kit is absurdly stacked. On top of that, as of release, he is the only imaginary type in the game, which, while yes, makes his element niche, it's still super good to have. If you do get a Welt through summons, without a doubt, level him up. I beyond wholeheartedly 1,000,000% recommend him. Well, that's about it. This one, just like Himiko, is a special as well. I love Welt in the Honkai universe. But yeah, if you like, drop me a like or dislike. I'm always open to constructive criticism. Also, if you've been enjoying the Honkai Star Rail content, think about dropping me a subscription. Would greatly appreciate it. As always, my name is Rad. You are all awesome. See you later.